Okay, let's dive deep into the Kaizen. Okay, quickly, people simply ask, what's the difference between Kaizen and innovation? And these are all some snippets from various books that you would have seen normally. It's nothing new, but just as a refresher. But these are things that we should remember. Whatever you do dramatically is innovation is mostly dramatic, whereas Kaizen is small improvements. Kaizen is generally low cost, and innovation requires more cost, low risk. Innovation is high risk because the concept may get accepted or may not get accepted. Kaizen requires more of human effort. Innovation requires more of technology. Kaizen is no-brainer. Okay, this one people might question. Brainstorming, you're talking about what is no-brainer, which means that, okay, it doesn't require too much of intelligence, okay, to really do this. But this requires deeper thought, okay? So if this is too super clear, type SC in the comment box. But what I want to tell you people, tell all of the team members here is, there can be a slight overlap, okay? For example, low cost to high cost, how high the cost is. So let's not get into this. Many times I've seen people asking me this question, okay, this much cost, do we call it innovation or Kaizen? So let's not get into that. For example, even Kaizen requires a little bit of technology in changing for the better. So let's not get into too much of, there can always be gray areas, okay? But then we should understand the spirit of Kaizen as team involvement and continuously identifying, challenging the status quo. The first thing in Kaizen is challenging the status quo of what, not the desired result, and then finding ways to improving along with the team. Okay, now I want to share with you something called Kaizen concepts. So you may want to take good notes of this. In Kaizen concepts, how should the management structure be for Kaizen? How should the management structure for Kaizen? Which type of management favors Kaizen? What's the difference between PDCA and SDCA cycles? You might all have known this, particularly people who've been for a long time, but then I'll still explain these differences. In God we trust. This is what generally we say, no, Six Sigma guys. In God we trust. The rest of them bring data, which means that we don't trust anybody who doesn't bring data except God. This is, when you do Kaizen, always think the next process is your customer. That's a concept. Of course, putting quality first is in the heart of Kaizen. And we should be able to relate process and results. And we should know that results can only be monitored, whereas its process is enablers, and we'll have to look at improvement in the process for results. We cannot change the results by. So Kaizening has to be done on the process. That's what we will explain deeper into process versus results. So these are something that I've just put randomly in our brains so that we understand the various components of the Kaizen culture. And whatever that I've put is, some of them are taken from Masaki Imai's book, The Gemba Kaizen, some of them from other books. So all that, whatever that I have read with little knowledge that I have put all these concepts together. So let's talk about Kaizen and management. Many of us question what is improvement and what is maintenance. Suppose if it is repair work, if you do a repair, is it improvement? Is a question generally that is asked. So maintenance is nothing but, a maintenance of machine is nothing but following the preventive maintenance procedures. Following a preventive maintenance procedure is maintenance of machine. Similarly, following the standards of a process following the standard operating procedures is a preventive maintenance for that method. If you don't want the method to fail, if you don't want the process to fail, the preventive maintenance standard is nothing but the standard operating procedures. How many of you are clear about this? I'm comparing the maintenance of a machine, which is preventive maintenance plan, with the maintenance of the process, which is the standard operating procedures. That is why we call SDCA standards, which I call as standard operating procedures, do as per standards and evaluate whether we are doing as per standards or not. If not, do this adjustment and ensure that you follow the standards. Improvement, on the other hand, is upgrading existing standard operating procedures. It is upgrading the existing standard operating procedures. We are going to the different level. Okay, so in Kaizen and management, we need to do SDCA is maintenance and improvement is actually PDCA. That's the difference between standards and improving over the standards is Kaizen. But we will now go into the depth of the Japanese perception of job functions initially. This is credits to Mr. Masaki Imai. Okay. Now, initially in Japan, in all organization, you have what is called top management. You got supervisors and you got workers. Okay. And there is always something maintenance. When I say maintenance, it's not maintenance of machines. Okay. It's a maintenance of the standards, which is following the standard operating procedures. And then you have improvements. Yeah, routine work. And routine work also you're doing as per standards. So in any company, it was divided like this. If you see workers, they do the routine work, that is follow the standards almost 80% of the time, or even 85% of the time. Only 10 to 15% of the time they do improvement. They are supposed to do improvement. Supervisors, on the other hand, maybe 60% of the time they are supposed to follow the standards, and maybe 40% of the time they are supposed to contribute to improvements. Middle management is just a little flipping around of supervisors, wherein 60% you do improvements, and that's why you come to work. Okay, you come to work to improve standards. Okay, not to follow standards, but you follow some of the standards. Top management, they are dedicated for doing improvements only. Okay. Now, as per Mr. Masaki Imai, who is the father of Kaizen, he has further broken down this improvement into innovation and Kaizen. Okay. He has broken down improvement into innovation and Kaizen, and he has divided the job function into innovation and Kaizen. And that's why if you see Kaizen Institute symbol also, it will be the same thing with, of course, blue color and red color and white. Innovation, Kaizen, and maintenance. So in other words, the top management participates innovation as equally as in improvement. They have little role in following the standards, whereas middle management, they also participate in the innovation to some extent, whereas workers, they don't participate in innovation, but they participate in improvement. But major job of workers is following the standards. This is one of the very important slides in Kaizen, what Mr. Masaki Mai has given us. If this is clear on a scale of 1 to 10, please give it 9 or 10 if it is super clear. Very important to understand this. Two concepts are important, Kaizen and management. And management, how this is, Ugandar is there from Kaizen Institute, so he will also acknowledge what I'm saying. Okay, SDCA and PDCA cycle. So as I said earlier, in SDCA, we'll have to do first as per standards, maintain the standards, stabilize, standardize the current process. So the SDCA gives importance to sustain. Okay, follow the standards and sustain. That's the importance in SDCA. After you follow the standard, next you improve the standard. Further improve, and then again go back to that different level of standards. So this is the difference between how long for SDCA. Okay, that's a very difficult question to answer. It depends. It just depends upon the type of process. That's all. For example, initially, if your son is getting 40% marks, I'm saying if my son is getting 40% in, say, first semester, can I expect him to improve and get 90% in the second semester? And is it practically possible? A person who is normally scores 40%, can he jump to 90%? Difficult. Okay. So how long should he take? Okay. So initially from 40%, we will look at him to improve to 60%. And then from 60%, we'll look at him to improve 80%. Then from 80%, we will look forward to him to improve to 90%. I hope you all agree with me. Those who agree with me, you can type. Okay. Okay. So SDCA cycle is like this. Okay. Standardize and sustain, and then you jump to the next. It's a similar example that I give. My son getting 40%, okay, improve to 60%, then again do some planned coaching sessions, this, that. Initially, what I'll do is I'll change his behaviors, his current practices. Always, follow the Kaizen route. What is the current state is the question, right? If he's scoring 40%, the Kaizen first step says, discover the improvement potential. Okay, then analyze the current situation. Okay, analyze the current situation. Die. Then generate original idea. So I will discover the improvement potential. The improvement potential is this boy can improve from 40 to 60. He is capable of doing even 80, but then he's at 40 now. Discover the improvement potential. Second is analyze the current methods. Current method of his routine, current method of his diets, current method of etc. etc. I have analyzed, then generate original ideas. Discuss with them, discuss with my wife, discuss with my daughter. Okay, generate idea. What I can ask daughter, because my daughter and my son is very close. Okay, I hope you are finding this example useful. Okay, generate original ideas means my daughter might say, because sometimes son, they will not open up with the father as openly as they open with the sister, okay, or mother even. Okay, so generate original ideas means we should ask probably my wife, what's her thoughts, what's my daughter's thought. Generate original ideas. Then DAG, develop implementation plan. Okay, we'll counsel him and we'll say that, okay, tomorrow you go this, you do this, you study for 2 hours, then you can go for basketball, this, that. Okay. Then develop implementation plan. I'll give him a routine. I'll say, okay, whether you've done or not, some checklist or something. Then implement as per plan. We help him. Okay, let me also. And then finally, evaluate whether his score is improving or not. It's just a simple example that just instantly occurred to me. So improve. After that, what is the next level of improvement? From 60 to 80, maybe some coaching class. Should I go to some extra coaching classes, Byju's coaching or tuition centers or whatever it is, or internet-based some education or something like that, and continuously keep on increasing. So this is, I hope this slide is clear, right? SDCA, PDCA cycle. This is also one of the important cycle in the Kaizen process. Okay, so this is from the book Gemba Kaizen by Masaki Mai. Put customers first, put quality and cost and delivery next. This is my own way of presentation and representation. Okay, he has written just the pyramid. Simple triangle he has put on the top, he has put customer, middle is put quality, and bottom he has put quality, cost and delivery. But I have represented customer with a star. Okay. Evolution of quality thinking. We have all gone through this quality process. Can we have some discussions on what was the initial concept of quality that you have known? The very senior people can talk about it. At what level of quality thinking were we, QCF5 director, executive directors here, Mr. Dinesh? Okay. Yeah, inspection. Okay. We were at inspection level. From inspection, where did we graduate to? Excellent. So inspection, and what is, then we graduated to what is called as QC. What is QC? From inspection to control. From control to assuring quality. And then managing. You assure and total quality management. All right. Now, in the inspection, this is something known to you, but for the sake of people who are new here and also probably who are from different, not very senior or experienced people, just a refreshing. Inspection is nothing but salvaging some items, sorting, grading, corrective actions, identifying the source of non-conformance. So these are all part of inspection. If you talk about quality control, how do you control the quality? How do you ensure that? We started developing what is called quality manuals. So process performance data, self-inspection, product testing, basic quality planning, use of statistics, paperwork control, and so on and so forth. Okay. So that is quality control perspective. And quality assurance, how do we assure quality? We go a little better than in our evolution of quality thinking. Third-party approvals, system audits, advanced quality planning, involvement of non-production operation, FMEA, SPC. I hope you are familiar with whatever is written here, right? At least the names are familiar. SPC, FMEA, I hope those names are familiar. Okay, so these are the things that we started doing as a part of quality assurance. And as a part of total quality management, we had started lean thinking, Kaizen thinking, Six Sigma approaches and things like that. Aim for continuous improvement, involve suppliers and customers, involve all operations, performance measures, and team. Okay, if this slide is clear, type clear, I'll go to the next slide. Okay.